By Thursday, Lena had sewn Nora's name into the blue coat twice. By Friday, another child was wearing it in the rain. Lena saw the coat from the passenger seat before she saw the child inside it, the bright cobalt sleeve, the tiny silver star missing from the zipper pull, the loose thread at the pocket where Nora had caught it on the garden gate. It was crossing the school courtyard through the drizzle, held closed with two small hands. Nora was beside Lena in the car, already reaching for her backpack. "Mom," she said. Lena did not answer at first. She watched the blue coat disappear behind the line of children near the covered walkway. "That's mine," Nora said, so quietly that Lena almost missed it. "Not our coat. Not the coat you lost. Mine." For 2 weeks, the blue coat had been the center of every rushed afternoon. Lena had asked about it at the front door. She had asked about it while rinsing lunch containers. She had asked after Nora was already in pajamas, when both of them were tired enough for a small question to turn sharp. "Where is your coat?" "I don't know. Did you leave it somewhere?" "Maybe. Could you please try to remember?" "I said I don't know." The first time, Lena believed it was an ordinary mistake. The second time, she felt worried. The third time, when Nora came home cold with the sleeves of her school sweater pulled over her hands, Lena stopped hearing uncertainty. She heard a child who had been careless and did not want to admit it. Now, in the rain, Lena watched a stranger wear the coat she had spent 3 evenings searching for. And she realized there was a question she had never asked. The coat had been Nora's birthday present in October. It was not expensive in the way Lena had once imagined birthday presents should be, wrapped in glossy paper and chosen months ahead. It was practical, waterproof enough for the walk from the bus, warm enough for the first cold mornings, blue because Nora had stood in the shop turning away from every other color. "This blue," she had said. "It looks like the sky when it is about to snow." Lena had smiled. Nora noticed details like that. She could tell when a neighbor had repainted a door and when a song in the grocery store was a cover instead of the original. Yet she could leave a library book beneath the sofa for 3 weeks and forget which friend had borrowed which pencil before lunch. The coat seemed like the kind of thing Nora would remember. She admired it in the mirror. She wore it indoors when the heat was on. She had begged to sleep with it folded beside her bed the first night. Then, on a wet Tuesday, she arrived home without it. "I left it in the classroom," she said. Lena sent a message to the teacher. The coat turned up on the lost and found rail near the music room. Nora came home with it the next day and acted almost embarrassed by the reunion. "Good," Lena said as she hung it on the low hook by the door. "From now on, coat goes on the hook before backpack comes off." "Okay." The second time was a Thursday. Nora said she had forgotten it on the bus. Lena called the bus depot and spent her lunch break describing the silver zipper pull to someone who promised to look. The driver found nothing. The next afternoon, the coat reappeared in Nora's locker, damp at the cuffs and smelling faintly of crayons. Lena did not understand how it had reached the locker. Nora said she did not know. "Things don't walk into lockers," Lena said. Nora's eyes filled for 1 second, then went flat. "I said I don't know." Lena wished she had stopped there. Instead, she explained how people needed to take care of what they had. She mentioned money in the careful, guilty way parents sometimes do when they do not want a child to worry but want them to understand. She said the coat was still new. She said she could not keep replacing things that disappeared. Nora nodded. It looked like agreement. Lena mistook it for agreement. The third time, Nora came in from a windy Monday without the coat and without her usual burst of after-school stories. She did not drop her backpack on the bench. She set it down softly and went straight upstairs. Lena followed her to the bottom of the stairs. "Nora. The coat?" "I don't know." "That is the third time." "I know." "Then help me understand." Nora turned around. Her cheeks were pink from cold, but her voice was controlled. I said I don't know where it is. Are you leaving it outside? Are you lending it to people? Are you putting it in the wrong bag? At the word lending, Nora's hand tightened around the stair rail. It was small. Lena saw it and filed it away as defiance. No, Nora said. Then we are not doing this again tomorrow. You will check your hook, your locker, and your bus seat before you come home. If the coat is gone, you call me from the office. We have a rule now. Nora looked down the hallway toward the empty hook. Fine, she said. The rule worked for 3 days. On Thursday, the blue coat appeared on the hook before Nora's backpack did. Lena noticed it and felt a small, private relief. Perhaps the problem had been ordinary after all. Perhaps Nora only needed a clear expectation. That evening, while they packed lunches, Nora asked whether there was another scarf in the hall closet. For you? Maybe. There is the green one. Why? Nora pressed the lid onto her sandwich container. No reason. Lena did not push. She was pleased not to push. She thought that was what patience looked like. The next morning was cold and wet. Nora wore the blue coat to school. At 3:15, she got into Lena's car in only her thin school sweater. That was when Lena saw the coat across the courtyard. Nora followed Lena's gaze. Her face changed before Lena said a word. Who is wearing it? Lena asked. Nora pulled the car door shut. Rain tapped quickly against the roof. Nobody. Nora. That is your coat. I know. The answer was not defensive. It was scared. Lena put the car in park again. Children were moving around them in bright umbrellas and wet sneakers. The blue coat was gone behind a cluster of older students. Did you give it to someone? Nora looked at her lap. You told me you didn't know where it was. 3 times. I didn't know if she would still have it. The sentence came so quickly that Nora seemed surprised she had said it. Lena felt anger rise, then falter. She had expected denial. Instead, she had a fact she did not know what to do with. Who is she? Please don't. Don't what? Don't go talk to her. Lena turned toward her. If she has your coat, I need to understand why. She said she would bring it back. Who said that? Nora pressed both hands between her knees. Her name is Amaya. She is in my class. Lena knew the name only vaguely. A new student, perhaps. Nora had mentioned someone who sat near the windows and drew horses in the margins of her math page. Lena did not know what this had to do with a coat. You cannot give your coat away without telling me, Lena said. Especially when you come home freezing and tell me you lost it. I didn't give it away. I just let her wear it. For 3 different days? Nora's mouth trembled. Sometimes more. The wipers moved once across the windshield. Lena watched the rain gather again. Why? Nora whispered, because she was cold. There it was, an answer simple enough to make Lena feel worse for how hard she had been asking. But it was not the whole answer, and Lena could feel that too. She started the car. The drive home took 11 minutes. Usually Nora filled it with stories about a class joke, a song on the music room piano, a fight over who got the last purple marker. That afternoon, she watched raindrops chase each other down the window. At the first red light, Lena said, "Tell me what you saw." Nora did not look at her. The first day it rained, Amaya didn't have a coat. She said hers was in a box. I thought she meant at her house. At recess she stood under the little roof and didn't go out. Then when the bell rang, she ran to the bus with her backpack over her head. Did she ask for yours? No. I asked if she wanted it. And she said yes. She said she only needed it until her bus came. Then why did she have it today? Nora wiped her face with the back of her hand. Because I told her she could keep using it if she gave it back on the next dry day. Lena gripped the steering wheel. Part of her wanted to say, that is not how coats work. Another part wanted to pull over and apologize for every question that had made Nora hide the truth. Instead she said, Nora, I am glad you noticed she was cold. That matters. But you cannot make a plan like this by yourself. Why not? It worked. It worked for one afternoon. Then you were cold. And I was calling bus depots. And Amaya still did not have a coat that belonged to her. Nora looked out at the wet road. I didn't want you to make her give it back. That was the fear beneath the lies. Not that Lena would be angry about a missing coat. That Lena would take the coat, correct the problem, and leave Nora with the feeling that helping someone had been wrong. At home, Nora went upstairs without taking off her shoes. Lena let her. She stood in the kitchen looking at the empty hook and the green scarf Nora had asked about. The scarf was folded on the bench, untouched. Lena thought of all the times Nora had said, I don't know. The answer had not been a story Nora was trying to protect from Lena. It had been a person. Still, understanding did not erase the problem. Lena wanted to make that clear without turning the understanding into another lecture. She waited until dinner. She set 2 bowls of soup on the table and put the green scarf beside Nora's chair. I want to talk about the coat, she said. Nora's shoulders rose. You are not in trouble for noticing someone was cold. You are in trouble for lying to me about where your coat was. Both things can be true. Nora blinked. I know, Lena continued. That sounds like a very adult answer. But it is the honest one. I need you to tell me when something of yours is being used by someone else. Not because I want to stop you from being kind. Because I am the grown-up who can help make a plan that does not leave either child cold. Are you going to tell Mrs. Bell? I think I need to tell a school adult there may be a student who needs support with warm things. I will not tell the whole school. I will not make Amaya stand in front of anyone. And I will not ask you to explain her life to me. Nora turned the spoon between her palms. She said not to tell, she said. I understand why you want to keep her trust. Sometimes keeping a friend's trust means helping them find an adult who can carry something bigger. You do not have to solve cold weather for her alone. Nora was quiet for a long time. Will she be mad? She might feel embarrassed. She might feel many things. We can be gentle. But she deserves help that does not depend on your coat disappearing every week. Nora nodded once. It was not relief yet. It was permission to stop carrying a job she had given herself. The next morning, Lena asked Nora if she wanted to be in the room when Lena spoke to Mrs. Bell. Nora said no. Then she changed her mind. Then she said she wanted to walk with Lena to the classroom door but not stay. That is a plan, Lena said. We can do that. They arrived a little early. The rain had stopped, but the playground shone with puddles. Nora wore the green scarf over her sweater. The blue coat was still with Amaya. At the classroom door, Mrs. Bell greeted Nora and then looked toward Lena with the quick concern of a teacher who could tell this was not about a forgotten permission slip. Lena kept her voice low. She said only what she knew. Nora had lent her coat to a classmate on several cold days. She was concerned because Nora had come home without warmth and felt unable to tell an adult. She wanted help offering support without making either child a spectacle. Mrs. Bell listened. She did not ask Nora to speak. She did not ask for details about Amaya's home. She said the school could check in privately and make sure the front office had what was needed for changing weather. Thank you for telling me, Mrs. Bell said to Nora. You noticed something important. Next time, you can tell me, too. We can help without making your friend feel like everyone is looking. Nora's eyes moved from Mrs. Bell to Lena. Would she have to give my coat back today? She asked. Mrs. Bell smiled gently. We will make sure everyone has something warm. Your coat can come back when it is dry. Nora looked as if she had been holding her breath since Monday and had only now found a place to let it go. That afternoon, the blue coat returned in a paper bag, folded more carefully than Nora ever folded it. The zipper pull was still missing its silver star. The pocket thread was still loose. But there was a small square of paper tucked inside. Thank you for letting me borrow this, it said in uneven pencil. I will bring your scarf back too. From Amaya. Nora read the note at the kitchen counter. Lena did not ask to see it until Nora handed it to her. Can I keep it? Nora asked. Of course. Can we get another blue coat for her? Lena sat beside her. We are going to let the school handle what Amaya needs. That way it is not your job to decide what is right for her family or what will happen next. But there are kind things we can do that do not put you in charge. We can donate the coats you have outgrown. We can ask Mrs. Bell what the classroom needs in winter. And when you notice something like this again, you can tell me or another grown-up. Nora considered that. Even if I promise not to? Especially then. A promise that makes you carry a problem alone is too heavy for you. You can say, I care about you, and I need help helping. Nora repeated the sentence under her breath, as if testing whether it sounded like something a 9-year-old could actually say. I care about you, and I need help helping. That is enough, Lena said. Then Nora looked toward the entryway. Are you still mad? Lena wanted to answer quickly. No, never. But quick comfort could erase what had happened just as surely as anger could. I am sorry that I made it hard to tell me, she said. And I still need you to tell the truth about where your things are. Next time, we make the plan together. Nora nodded. Okay. And the coat goes on the hook when it comes home. This time, Nora smiled. That rule is still annoying. Some rules are annoyingly useful. The following Wednesday was colder than the forecast had promised. Lena expected to find the blue coat on the hook after school. Instead, Nora came through the door with it folded over both arms. For one fast second, Lena felt the old alarm. Then she noticed the coat was dry. Nora was warm. The green scarf was looped around her neck. Before you ask, Nora said, I have it. Lena laughed, not because the sentence was funny, but because Nora had made room for it before the question arrived. I see that. Nora placed the coat on the hook. Then she pulled a flyer from her backpack. It was for a winter collection at school, gloves, hats, coats, and new socks, all dropped in a box by the office without names attached. Mrs. Bell said our class is helping, Nora said. I asked if we could bring the purple hat I outgrew. That sounds like a good plan. And I asked Amaya if she wanted to draw a sign for the box. She said yes. There was no grand ending waiting in the hallway. No sudden solution that made every cold day easy. There was only a coat on its hook, a flyer on the counter, and a child who had learned she could still care without hiding. That evening, Lena found Nora at the kitchen table mending the loose pocket thread with a blunt plastic needle from an old craft kit. The stitches were uneven and far apart. Want help? Lena asked. Nora shook her head. Then she looked up. Can you sit here while I do it? Lena pulled out the chair beside her. They worked in quiet. Nora pushed the needle through the blue fabric. Lena held the pocket flat when it slipped. On the third try, the thread caught. The repair was visible. It did not need to be invisible to do its job. When Nora finished, she held the coat up by its shoulders. It is not perfect, she said. No, Lena said. But it is strong enough for tomorrow. Nora hung it on the hook herself. This time, Lena did not see an object that might disappear. She saw a small blue reminder that care could be real and still need a better route home. One fictional story cannot explain every missing item or half-truth. A child may simply need a clear rule and help remembering it. But when a behavior repeats, it can help to ask what felt too risky to say and what has become too big for a child to solve alone. Curiosity is not excusing dishonesty. Lena still held the boundary. Nora could not lend out the coat and say it was lost. The repair worked because Nora's care mattered, and the plan needed adults. For a school, friendship, safety, or secret concern, a calm handoff to an appropriate trusted adult can be kinder than asking a child to carry it alone.